Good day. It's my pleasure to present results of our research. I would like to share research conducted together with my colleagues, Olga Kibik, Khaiminova, Belous. We represent National University Odessa Law Academy and Odessa National Maritime University. The research is devoted to impact of integration process for development of economic agents. Present environment requires that every economic agent must maintain an optimal level of security and ensure their development. Research of processes of globalization and integration on different levels based on the impact for economic agents, economic security becomes more actualizing. Integration processes are proceeding on each level of economic activity. Integration is often considered as a factor and potential for development of enterprises, regional and national economic growth. On the other hand, in central cases, integration can generate additional challenges to the potential of economic agent development. There are various factors that determine the direction, level, and strength of integrational influence on the indicators of economic agents' activities and development. In our view, considerable attention should be paid to the problems identified by agents, which are structural elements of the state's economic system and to the state itself economic agent. Functioning of transport infrastructure provided by enterprises of different modes of transport, in particular maritime, has been considered as an example of the state economic system structure forming element. Despite the considerable number of scientific publications on the development of integration processes of the world and in Ukraine, the issues of assessment of the impact of integration processes on the result of development of economic agents of different levels require research continues. Integration is a process which is going on different levels and different directions. There are two main levels of integration process, macro and micro level. There are many definitions of integration and integration process is a scholar's study. Taking into account result of different scholars, research integration process we consider as a process which individual economic agents and at the macro and or international levels transfer part of their right in favor of unfilled institutional structure which have been created for the realization of common interests. The integration is a process of unification different systems for common activities in order to achieve this goal. There are central consequences from integration processes. The effect of integration processes can be classified into different characteristics. The main important type of types of integration effect are economic, social, and ecological. The integration effects are conditioned by the integrational process level. In practice, especially in the context of activation of the development of applying blue economy concept, all these types of effects are closely interrelated. Economic integration leads of two types of effects. Static effects are apparent immediately after the integrational structure is created, and dynamic effects appear as a result from integrational functioning. Increasing investments aspect to technologies and or resources of integration formation. Foundation of common market and market expansion, common resolution of complex problems, increased competitive advantages and competitive positions, accelerated scientific and technological progress, and economic growth are the example of dynamic effects. Macroeconomic Indicators of the main economic grouping demonstrated on table and figure. So the positive effects of regional integration are the increase of economic growth and convergence of economic development in indicators of the countries belonging to the integration group. Stabilization of prices and the tendency of decreasing unemployment in countries which join the economic integration grouping has shown this. The cross-border integration is based on increasing integration process at the mega level, forming of economic connections and trade agreements between border regions of two countries in format of cross-border cooperation, cross-border partnerships. There are forms of cross-border integration processes. The cross-border sectoral integration is a process of economic integration of a particular sector and economic areas which are taking place in cross-border areas of different countries. The purpose of involving a country's region into the integration process is to increase the efficiency of using their potential to ensure competitiveness as a part of the regional development mechanism. Outsourcing, cluster, concern, cartel, pool, corporation, strategic alliance can be considered as organizational forms of the integrational processes. The M&A are the most common micro-level integration process. So, integrated structures can generate competitive advantages in different areas. In the financial sphere, advantages have reduced costs, growth on profit and profitability level, generated additional financial resources such as attracting investments, and increase the capital cost, implementation of investment projects. In the management sphere, integrated structures can get the opportunity for attraction to strategic cooperation with partners and foundation long-term relationships to ensure the cooperation between memberships. In the management sphere, advantages are the concentration of activity, potential of specialization and division of labor, including double functioning, counseling, management, science support, rationalization of globalizational and management structures, communications and business processes. As a result, opportunities for attract additional resources to ensure development are being created. Formation of a common market, formation of a positive image, strengthening of a competitive position are possible advantages in the marketing sphere. It should be noted that important positive aspects of the international integration process as a formation for common information system for members, which is important in the condition of development, digitalization of the business process. The effect in science and the technological sphere are a realization of joint scientific, educational, research projects, growth of innovative potential. Taking into account the role of the maritime industry in the global transport system, foundation is an important or considerable positive and negative effect of integrational activities in maritime transport. Integration processes of maritime industry are an important component of the national transport complex integration into the global economic space and European economic area. The pressing issue is to identify and ensure the leading role of maritime transport in the development of regional integration structures of coastal regions. Processes of clustering, corporatization, and foundation strategic alliance have been developing in the maritime industry at micro level. The cluster approach to ensure creation and developing maritime activity systems should be based on the view that cluster structures are recognized as one of the most effective forms of integrated structures of innovative types forms of regional innovation development. Cluster influence on market competition. Thus, compete in not only individual transport enterprises but transport complexes, which allows optimization costs through joint technological cooperation. Cluster structures with maritime transport involved are forming special economic sphere in order to expand free trade, free movement of labor and capital and services, and serve as a structural element of the global system. Clusters combine competition and cooperation, common effects, flexible specialization, use effect of economic of scale and growth force. Integration in the field of maritime business developed successfully in the basis of public-private partnership and expanding of scope of self-regulatory principles. So, integration processes should be considered of all levels of the economic system. Global economy, national economic systems, regional and industries, business structures have advantages taking part in integration processes. However, the positive and sometimes the negative effects aren't limited to the economy. Policy and programs of the integration development allow the solving ecological, political issues, social development within society. Integration influence on security of economic and political system. Research into the integration processes have been updated. In researching into interaction between members of integration unity, particular attention should be paid to study two structure forming spheres of activity. There are transport industry enterprises, including maritime business, which are actively involved in the formation and/or functioning integrational groupings of national and regional and international levels. Influence of integration processes on the economic security of economic agents of different levels should be studied, taking into account of effects of integrational and internal and external factors. Thank you for your attention.